So you're considering a move to Frisco, Texas, but you want to know what are the real pros and cons of living here. It's exactly what I'm going to go over in today's video, and the third con is going to catch you a little off guard. And when you stay to the end, I'm going to go over some of the top new neighborhoods here in Frisco, Texas. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about the North Texas suburbs, then be sure to subscribe so you're the first one to know. My name is Jake Enderman, and I've lived here in North Texas my entire life. I've helped numerous families relocate here and help navigate the new construction best neighborhoods all across the DFW suburbs. My team and I love helping people make a smooth transition here into North Texas. So if you have any questions, whether you're 9 days or 9 months out from making a move, feel free to reach out to me. All our contact info is below. The first pro of Frisco, Texas is going to be its job market. It's got an insane job market, but in a good way, of course. It's growing in population. A ton of top companies are moving their headquarters here, or at least close to here. You've got Toyota, you've got the Star development, you've got office space all around Legacy West, and it's really turned Frisco into one of the fastest growing employment hubs here in Texas. And there's a lot of other ones that aren't necessarily in Frisco, but are in the neighboring cities. You've got AT&T that just announced their headquarters are moving from Dallas into Plano, so it's going to make your commute even closer for you if any of those are in Plano. The median household income here in Frisco is about $146,000 or so, so that's well above the U.S. median and just reflects how economically sound and the job opportunities here in Frisco. And what's great about Frisco is that it's a really diverse job market. You're going to have some automotive, telecommunications, insurance, tech, healthcare. Like I said, the Star, which is the Dallas Cowboys headquarters, and they're all within minutes of each other. So you've got a ton of career options and opportunities here in Frisco, Texas. And like I said earlier, if you don't actually work in Frisco but love the city, you're still going to be close to a lot of other major hubs like Plano, Richardson, downtown Dallas. It's going to give you a lot of flexibility if you live in Frisco to tap into the bigger opportunities across the other suburbs here in the Metroplex. Let's talk about one of the biggest cons of living in Frisco and really all of Texas suburbs as a whole is going to be your property taxes. And this catches a lot of people off guard when they move here. Now, Texas does not have a state income tax. And Frisco has some incredible schools, infrastructures, and amenities, but they have to get the money and funding from that somewhere. So Texas does it in the form of property taxes, and in Frisco, you can expect to pay about 2.2 to 2.8% of your home's value each year, depending on where you're located, school district, and whether or not your home is in a mud or a PID, which more on that later. So let's get some real numbers on that and what that's going to look like realistically for you in your budget. So let's say you buy the average median home price in Frisco, which is about $650,000. You're going to be looking about $14,000 to $18,000 per year in property taxes before any homestead exemptions or anything like that. So expect $1,200 to $1,500 a month, and even higher if you're at a larger price point. And that's going to be on top of your mortgage, insurance, and HOA. Now, another thing that catches a lot of people off guard when moving here in regards to property taxes is you can have two of the same priced homes in Frisco in different locations, and your payment's going to look drastically different just because Frisco's in Collin and Denton County. Collin County is generally a higher taxed county, so you can expect it. If you're in a newer development, you may have a MUD, which stands for Municipal Utility District, to fund infrastructure, and a PID is going to be, sorry, I blanked on what the P was in PID, Public Improvement District, which that one can be paid off and eventually go away, but expect another about 0.5 to 0.8% if you're in a MUD or a PID. So just something to keep in mind when moving here. Something else is homes tend to appreciate pretty quickly in Frisco, which is great news for you and your equity, but expect that your house payment's going to go up every year since the valuation is. And it's something to really keep an eye on because everywhere it seems like they just throw out a number and hope that you don't protest it. So make sure you have your homestead exemption, and then when property taxes roll around, be sure to reach out to a licensed realtor like myself. I can help protest them, or they have some great online resources for you that you can pay. Now, seeing that bill can definitely feel like a bit of a punch in the gut to you, but the taxes do pay for something. You're going to have some of the highest rated schools in Texas, incredible parks, roads, sports complexes, And it's just one of the best and most conveniently located cities in North Texas. From a monthly budget standpoint, property taxes are one of the biggest reasons Frisco feels a lot more expensive than people expect, especially if you're not used to such high property taxes. Now, a lot of people still feel like for what you get in Frisco, it makes the property taxes worth it. So let's go over what you can expect with lifestyle, sports, and what life in Frisco looks like. Frisco, Texas is going to be one of those places where you see your sports, entertainment, and lifestyle all combined. And that's why a ton of people love living here. As far as sports goes, you have the Star, which is where the Dallas Cowboys practice, and it's their headquarters. It's really its own destination, though. You've got restaurants, bars, of course, when they're playing at AT&T Stadium. You can watch them there. They've got a whole mini field. You've got year-round activities there. Even if you're not a football fan, they've got live music for you, some great bars and food to eat around there. So it's a great place for everyone. And then, of course, if you're a golfer, I wish I was. I'm a top golfer at best, but they got PGA Frisco. So that's going to change. North Texas PGA just moved their headquarters here in 2022. You're going to get championship golf courses. Of course, you have the Omni Resort right next door, which is a national destination. So you're going to have, like I said, if you're not a golfer like myself, wish I was better, you're going to have some great restaurants, trails, events, and you're going to feel like its own little resort without having to leave town. So Frisco's really on another level, but it touches all of the sports. You've got minor league baseball with the Frisco Rough Riders, which they feed into the Texas Rangers. So you've got sports complexes everywhere, personal training. If your kids are into sports, Frisco's going to be great. Or if you just want entertainment, you've got Universal Kids Resort Studio that's opening middle of 2026. So really only about 3 to 6 months away. So it's great if you have kids or entertainment. You really can't beat the location. Over the past few years, Frisco's really turned into a major dining and entertainment hub. You've got Legacy West, Frisco Square, Fields West that's getting developed. You're going to have a ton of high-end restaurants, casual spots, patios, nightlife, coffee shops. And you're going to have a variety of food, anything you want from Mexican, Italian, American, sushi. You name it, they've got it. And of course, the big advantage of this is you no longer have to drive 30, 40 minutes into Dallas to get all of these conveniences. That's why Frisco's been dubbed the 15-minute city. You can work, eat, shop, have all your entertainment you want within about 10 to 15 minutes of your home. So you're gonna get that big city feel with the convenience of not being far from the house. You're gonna get your newer schools, top-rated schools, A-rated schools, and newer homes. While that has its upside with that much growth and popularity, there's going to be one thing we all hate and can't avoid, which is going to be traffic. So let's get into the next con and see what Frisco traffic really looks like for you. Frisco traffic is one of the most common complaints you'll hear about living in Frisco. While its infrastructure is catching up and they're widening the roads and overpasses and all of that, if you've ever driven the Dallas North Tollway during rush hour, you know it's usually not too fun. You can turn a 10-minute drive into a 25-minute drive like that. It happens super fast. Now, Preston Road, south of about Prosper, gets pretty packed, especially between school drop-off and people getting off work. There's a lot of congestion, especially downtown Frisco. So it's definitely a downside to living here. But to be fair, this isn't, a gridlock like downtown Dallas or Houston. You're still moving, you're not sitting still. It sucks. It's part of growing and developing a city, which is really what it is. Frisco, they planned really good, but when you grow that fast, there's only so much you can do. That many new neighborhoods, new schools, shopping centers, sports complexes, all of that coming faster than the roads could keep up. With that, Frisco is being super proactive about it. They've added lane extensions. They're extending the DNT. 380 on the north end of Frisco. They've opened the overpasses, which has really helped. So long term, it's gonna be fine. Just the first few years, you're gonna have to stick it out a little bit. It's not unbearable, but it's not the most fun to have to deal with. No one loves traffic. My biggest tip for that would be either adjust your schedule if you can, so you don't have to leave during peak times, learn the back roads, or like I said, just time things differently. Now, if you're coming from a slower paced city, maybe moving from a more rural Texas city or out of state, it's gonna be a big adjustment, but you'll eventually get used to it, no problem. Now, while the growing pains are pretty sharp right now, it leads to stuff that's really hard to complain about. You've got a ton of new development, so we'll get into what is coming to Frisco and what you have to look forward to moving here. Frisco really shines and leads the way over a lot of the other surrounding suburbs in its growth and development. Everywhere you look in Frisco, you're going to see something new, whether it's a master plan community, mixed use projects, retail, shopping, restaurants, whatever. It feels like there's something always going on. And one of the top developments right now in Frisco is going to be Fields of Frisco and really Fields West. This is going to be one of the largest developments Frisco's seen, over 10,000 homes, and Fields West is going to be more than houses. It's going to have retail, offices, and entertainment. So it's going to be a big future development that's going to shake up Frisco. And then, of course, right by Fields of Frisco, you're going to have the brand new Universal Kids Resort, which opens middle of 2026. So that puts Frisco alone on a national map. If people don't want to fly to Orlando or anything like that, it's pretty cool, everything that's going on. You know, the planners of Frisco were really intentional and planned this strategically. They built it a lot around trails, community, schools, and shopping instead of just, throwing up some homes and hoping for the best. So that's why so many people see Frisco as a long-term play, and the city isn't done. Now, historically, prices tend to go up over here. Of course, they don't only go up forever. No market, unfortunately, works like that. But compared to a lot of the slower growth suburbs, Frisco has a track record of appreciation driven by the real estate development. And, for your homeowners, that's going to mean more amenities close to home or insane water parks like Universal Studios, more things to do without having to drive into another city like Dallas, Plano, Prosper, and, in many cases, you're going to see your equity grow as the city continues to grow. A lot of buyers love Frisco because it's not finished yet. It's being built in real time, and you get to grow into the city and see it develop, which is the appeal for a lot of buyers right now. With all the growth, that is going to bring some challenges, especially if you're watching your budget. One of the biggest deal breakers for a lot of people, and something you need to know before moving here, is Frisco is not cheap. It consistently ranks as one of the most expensive cities in North Texas, especially when it comes to housing. A lot of your new construction homes are going to start in the low to mid sixes, and a lot of them push well into the 8, 9s and over the $1 million price point. And the resale homes hold their value really well, which is great news if you already own, but if you're trying to get in and buy, it means your entry point is going to be higher than a lot of your surrounding cities like your Little Elms, Aubreys, Prosper, and Salina. It's not just housing though. Also here, everyday expenses tend to run a little bit higher. Your groceries, dining, childcare, fitness, all of those reflect a higher household income and demand in Frisco when you compare it to a lot of your nearby cities here in North Texas. You'll often get more house for your money. Just a few miles away, you're gonna have lower price points. Sometimes taxes are a little lower and usually a little bit slower pace of growth. But of course, that's one of the trade-offs. You're not going to get all the conveniences of Frisco. So that's something where you have to decide if it's worth it. Where priorities come into play. In Frisco, you're going to get your highly rated schools, new homes and infrastructure. You're probably going to be a lot closer to jobs and sports and entertainment. And it's planned and constantly improving. So that's why a ton of people love Frisco, say the quality of life is top tier. But you do feel that quality in your monthly payment, like we talked about, just everyday expenses and property taxes. So that's something you need to weigh out if Frisco is a better option for you, or if you don't mind living a little bit further away to have a little bit more room to breathe in your budget. Those people that end up moving to Frisco do so because they like the standard of living and they're comfortable paying for it. A lot of families still say the cost is worth it because of one thing that makes Frisco legendary. It's Frisco legendary, and one of the biggest reasons people move here is the school district. Frisco ISD is consistently ranked one of the top school districts in Texas, and it's by no accident. The district was really smart and intentional how they set it apart and manage growth. There's over 70 campuses, and instead of building massive schools with thousands of students, like say Allen High School where I went, where there's 1,700 people in my class, Frisco ISD intentionally kept schools smaller and more personal and built more of them. So of course, with smaller class size, you're going to get a better student to teacher ratio, and kids not getting lost in the system or overlooked. Now, what a lot of parents like about Frisco is, of course, yes, you have the strong academics, you have advanced placements, honor program, all of that, but also there's a ton of extracurricular activities, whether you're an athlete, fine arts, band, theater, STEM program, and clubs. Whatever your kid's into, there's going to be a place for them to thrive. From a real estate standpoint, great schools, of course, make a huge difference in home value. Homes in Frisco ISD tend to hold value extremely well and stay in demand higher. If you have a home in Frisco ISD versus a neighboring one, the home in Frisco usually goes for more and a lot faster, which is why a lot of people stretch their budget to live here. They want their kids to get a great education, be in a convenient location, and of course, it's got some of the best homes. If you don't have kids yet or an empty nester, that's when some people start to notice this last con in Frisco, Texas. Let's talk about one thing Frisco is not known for, and that's going to be its nightlife. If you're looking for a city that has, bars open super late, loud music, Frisco probably is not going to be your scene. Now, they still have some great restaurants, bars, and family-friendly events, but once you hit about 9:30 or 10 p.m., most things tend to shut down. If you're looking more for, that nightlife, you're gonna have to go into Dallas or Fort Worth to find, some of those bars and clubs. Frisco is built around families, schools, and quality of life, not so much the crazy late night entertainment or anything like that. So that is intentional, and because of that, it's a con if you don't want a nightlife. But on the other side of things, if you prefer that quieter scene, it may be one of the reasons you choose Frisco. Now, if you are looking for a true late night scene, clubs, you're gonna have to head into about Uptown Dallas, which is only about 30-40 minutes away. So if you're in your early 20s, single, or someone who really loves that lifestyle, Frisco may feel a little too quiet, but you're still not an unreasonable distance to still experience that. So I'll let you decide if this is really a con or not. If you want bars that are open till 2 a.m., Frisco probably isn't the best place. But comment below, let me know, is that a pro or a con for you? I'm curious. So comment below what you think. Do the pros outweigh the cons for you to make a move for Frisco? I know personally, I think Frisco still offers one of the best balances between lifestyle and commute and location. It's not perfect, but I think overall it is one of the best suburbs here in Texas. So if you are planning on moving here or just comparing suburbs, reach out to me. Like I said, whether you're 9 days or 9 months out, I'd love to help you make a smooth transition. Check out my other videos on some of the other suburbs, and be sure to subscribe if you are thinking about making the move. And as promised, my top 3 Frisco subdivisions are going to be, number 1 is going to be Fields of Frisco. Those are going to range from about 800 up into the multi-millions. You've got the Grove, which is about 700 up to the mid-ones. And then I think just to toss in one of the most affordable options is going to be Villages East. These start in the 500s, new builds in Frisco, Texas. So if you're interested in any of those, reach out to me. I'd love to get you more info and help make a smooth move here to North Texas.